One Zambia, one nation. Welcome to Zanis News. I'm your presenter, Mwangala Kapandula. Let's take you through the headlines. President Hichilema hosts former vice presidents. Government gives Lusaka City Council 3-day ultimatum to demolish police post. Zambia to host 2024 Digital Government Africa Summit. Namala Council procures desks and other furniture worth 2.7 million kwacha. Zanis News in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has appealed to former vice presidents of Zambia to help enhance national unity. President Hichilema says former and serving Zambian leaders have the responsibility of keeping Zambia as a unitary state. The president said this when he hosted former vice presidents and their spouses at state luncheon held at State House in Lusaka today. More in the following report.
Former leaders bring a wealth of experience and wisdom gained during their time in office. Regular interactions with them provide an opportunity to tap into their knowledge, insights, and lessons learned from navigating complex political, economic, and social challenges. It is for this reason that President Hakainde Hichilema hosted former vice presidents and their spouses at State House for a lunch-on to appreciate their services while in office.
You are vice president, so continue performing those roles and keep our country together. I deliberately say so. Zambia is a unitary state, and we would like you leaders to continue preaching that aspect of this country remaining a unitary state. As you taught us, you were taught by KK and our forefathers, independence fathers, it's one Zambia, one nation, one people.
Former Vice President Brigadier General Godfrey Mianda spoke on behalf of other former vice presidents.
On behalf of my wife and our family, we thank His Excellency, the President of Zambia, for recognizing us. How did he recognize? If somebody says, can you go and do this for me? The attitudes may be two. One is that, look, this chap, look at him again, he's doing this to me. But I learned to say, if a person comes to you and say, can you do this for me? They are recognizing that you have a quality, although they are not saying so. You have a quality and they want you to assist them. So all of us Zambians, when the government requires us to assist it in one or another, don't take it that the government is foolish, they are now desperate, they are stranded, they are come to us. No.
Those who attended the lunch-on included Dr. Nevas Mumba, Mr. Enoch Kavindele, and Brigadier General Godfrey Mianda, while former Prime Minister Malimba Masheke and former Vice Presidents Inonge Wina and Dr. Guy Scott could not be available as they were reported ill. However, by broadcast time, President Hichilema was on his way to former Vice President Dr. Guy Scott's house to check on him, while another government delegation was dispatched to both Madam Inonge Wina and General Malimba Masheke's residences to check on them respectively. Kalan Muchima, reporting for Zanis in Osaka.
President Hakainde Hichilema says government remains resolute in growing the mining sector for the benefit of the Zambian people. And Chamber of Mines President Godwin Wene has pledged to partner with government to realize the vision of increasing copper production from the current 830,000 metric tons to 3 million metric tons by 2030. Speaking in an interview with Zanis shortly after holding a private meeting with President Hakainde Hichilema at State House, Mr. Wene says his organization realizes that it is only through close partnership between government and sector players that much-needed development will be achieved. Kalani Muchima has more in this report.
The mining industry plays a significant role in the economic stability of Zambia. Therefore, collaboration between government and sector players can work to ensure the industry's sustainable growth, contributing to employment opportunities and economic development. Realizing this need, President Hakainde Hichilema hosted a delegation from the Chamber of Mines, led by its president, Dr. Godwin Wene.
At least technology has allowed us to be able to be in touch all the time. The idea is that we don't wait until things compound, until the situation degenerates. As you know, we are going through what we call as consolidating the environment, business operating environment, including the mining sector. But at the same time, the flip side, we want to make sure that Zambians, citizens who got endowed with these resources, they must also benefit from the resources. So, but the two sides of the coin does not mean they're contradictory. They're actually complementary. And I think these are the issues that sometimes we miss each other when the government wants its citizens to get value out of its resources. Sometimes we see that as disturbing the mining environment. This government doesn't want to do that. It wants to do both.
Speaking in an interview after the private dialogue meeting with the head of state, Dr. Wene described the meeting as being fruitful.
So we came in to brief the president of how it is going in the industry and to reiterate the fact that we are doing everything to support the government in attaining the 3 million tonnes, and also in our desire to continue to attract investors in the sector, as well as to ensure that as much as can be done, there is a greater participation in the sector by our Zambians.
Mines Minister Paul Kabuswe also attended the meeting and sheds more light on what the government wants to achieve with sector players.
Chamber of Mines represents the big mining companies. Let me just say the mining companies who are their members. And their focus, of course, is to protect their interests, but our focus is to protect the interests of citizens so that they, get value out of the mines. So we now have to converge Chamber of Mines, government, so that we sing from the same hymn sheet.
The meeting was also attended by Andrew Chipwende, who is Director General of the Public-Private Dialogue Forum. Kalan Muchima, reporting for Zanis in Osaka.
Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, Mike Mposha, has given Osaka City Council a 3-day ultimatum to demolish Kuku Police Post, which has been constructed on top of a water pipe. Mr. Mposha says the police post should be demolished because it is built on top of the main water pipeline, which supplies water to a number of households in Kuku. The minister said this when he toured the police post, which is flooded due to the damaged water pipe. Beatrice Mfula has the details in the following report.
Water Development and Sanitation Minister Mike Mposha has given Lusaka City Council up to Friday to demolish Kuku Police Post, which has been constructed on top of a water pipe to pave way for the maintenance works. The police post was constructed on the main water pipeline, supplying water to residents of Kuku compound.
We have to pull down this police post. This is our own facility, a government facility now, built by the community and handed over to Home Affairs. It has to go because it's sitting on a pipeline.
Lusaka Water and Sewage Company Managing Director Jili Chiombwe says the company should be consulted before erecting structures to avoid building on water pipelines.
If there are any structures coming up, either government or coming from the community, I think let's be consulted. Then we'll advise accordingly. So if we had coordinated on this one, this wouldn't have happened. So when you look at this one, it's supplying a very big area, if we were to stop the flow of water here and start doing construction, we are looking at 30 days of no supply of water.
And Lusaka City Council Acting Town Clerk Cliff Tarandaba says they will quickly work on the matter. Beatrice Mfula reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
Government has advised Zambians to conduct fact-finding missions before issuing statements on matters of national concern. Minister of Information and Media Cornelius Metwa says allegations being peddled by some people over the Zambia National Service ZNS Eagles Milling Mill are malicious. Mr. Metwa was speaking during a media briefing at the ZNS Chongwe milling plant. Shilika Chawalengula now reports.
The Zambia National Service ZNS Eagles Milling Mill has in recent days been alleged to have been produced using genetically modified GMO maize. Government has clarified these allegations and has since advised those spreading propaganda to desist from falsely alarming the nation and instead conduct fact-finding tours of the ZNS milling plants. At a joint media briefing held at ZNS Chongwe milling plant, the government gave its position on the allegations.
Assertions, therefore, that the Zambian government is feeding its people on GMO-laced milling meal are unfactual, they are untrue, they are malicious and political. They are baseless, they can't be substantiated. We want to urge various stakeholders, particularly those in the political realm, that as they enjoy their guaranteed freedoms of speech and expression, they should desist from pandering to the whims of engagement in the performance of propaganda and misinformation, and also unnecessarily alarming the nation, particularly on issues of grave national concern.
Get our stocks from here, FRA, and you know FRA buys local maize, which is GMO-free stores, and in terms of need, they release it to millers. Millers mill it for us. It's distributed in the chain stores, and we have GMO-free milling mill.
Meanwhile, the Millers Association of Zambia has confirmed the use of non-GMO maize supplied by the Food Reserve Agency.
We do not subscribe to the production of GMO maize. For those millers that are participating, that have partnered with ZNS, it's clearly through the toll milling arrangement, and the maize that is being produced is maize from the Food Reserve Agency.
The delegation toured the ZNS Chongwe milling plant, Mwembeshi FR Depot, and Superior Milling. Shilika Chabalengula for Zanis in Lusaka.
And in a related development, Minister of Information, who is also Chief Government Spokesperson, Cornelius Metwa, has assured the nation that the ZNS-produced Eagle milling meal is not genetically modified as alleged by some sections of society. He made the assurance after visiting the ZNS milling plant in Mose, where it has been established that the maize grain the milling plant is supplied by the Food Reserve Agency, FRA. Meanwhile, Defense Minister Ambrose Lufoma says ZNS remains committed to producing quality milling meal in large quantities to stabilize the price of milling meal in the country. Muchinga Province Minister Henry Sikazwe says the provincial administration will continue to attract investors to invest in the province. Mr. Sikazwe says there is more need for various companies to invest in the province if development is to be attained. The provincial minister was speaking when he led an entourage from Muchinga Province in visiting Fresh Factory and Armor Oil Factory located in 10th of Ramadan City in Egypt. Pamela Inambao is in Egypt and now reports.
They have continued to engage various companies in lobbying them to invest in Muchinga Province. The delegation from Muchinga Province, who are in Egypt, led by the provincial minister, today held a meeting with Fresh Factory, a company which produces different home appliances and exports its products to more than 65 countries in the world.
Tomorrow we can start negotiation about the copper, and it's most welcome. We tried with some countries, but we didn't succeed. Let's start with the copper tomorrow if you want.
Meanwhile, Muchinga Province Minister says there is need for such companies to invest in Muchinga Province if development is to be attained.
If we can have something in Zambia, we can have a wide market across that region. Yes.
Other companies that the team held a meeting with is Ama Oil Factory, a company involved in oil production.
And we are looking forward also to look for potentials if there is a potential in Zambia. As you said, there is a good potential there. And also we want to know what is actually the laws of investment. Is it good or not? And we will see. What's also the chances that we can get.
Okay. Materials that you mentioned that go into production of the oils that we have seen, most of them are even currently being grown in our province, and some being grown on a large scale, some being grown on an outgrower scheme. I was happy when I heard that you are producing butter from palm oil. We have in Chinga province a palm plantation of about 13,000 hectares of land of palm plantation, and we feel that you can provide a market for that plantation for your raw material.
Pamela Inamba reporting for Zanis in 10th Ramadan City in Egypt.
We take our first break. Stay tuned.
Bushe cholera chinshi. Cholera bulwele bwa kupolomia. Omuntu ukwete cholera alapolomia sana eyo nonkuluka. Obusali buba ubwa menshi nokubutuluka ngomo basukire omupunga. Omulwele wa cholera takwata menshi mu mubiri pamulandu wa kuluka eyo nokupolomia. Omulwele wa cholera kuti afwa munsa 12 na nguntile 12 hours ngataperwa omuti uwafikapo. Musho omuntu kuti akwata shani cholera. Okunwa menshi ayabula okuwamya nangu ayafiko. Okulya ifya kulya nemino iyalamba nangu mufipe ifya abula okusamfya na menshi ayasuma. Okulya ifya kulya ifyo basunga okwabula okufimbapo ifya kutira na balunshi baleikalapo. Okulya ifya kulya ifya shelepo ifya talala ifya kutira tabafisungire bwino nakalya iyo. Okulya ifya kulya ifyo bashitisha mu misebo. Okulya ifisabo elyo n'omusalo ifya abula okusamfya. Kuti twaichingirira shani ku bulwele bwa cholera. Wamyeni amenshi yakunwa okupitira mu kuipika nangu okubika mu chlorine. Sambeni kuminwa na sopo elyo n'amenshi ayasuma panuma yakubonfya chimbusu. Kafyeni ko ifya kulya ilyo tamulalya. Fimbeni pa fya kulya fyonse pakuti balunshi tabale ikalapo. Mwilalya ifya kulya fisangwa mu misebo. Bonfyeni chimbusu inshita yonse. Mwila bonfya ifikunkubiti nangu ifupepala pakuposa ubusali. Shiningisha inokutila ubusali bonse bwaposwa mu chimbusu. Sungeni chimbusu ichabusaka nokufimbapo inshita yonse. Iyimbila abamireterako chipa ni chimona pabumi.
Welcome back. Smart Zambia National Coordinator Percy Chinyama has announced that the country will host the 2024 Digital Government Africa Summit from 2nd to 4th October this year. Mr. Chinyama said this when he signed 2 memoranda of understanding with the Africa Brains and Visa International Service Association, who have partnered with government in the preparation of the summit. Sharon Walia has more in this report.
Last year, Zambia hosted the prestigious and successful Digital Government Africa Summit that saw the presence of high-ranking representatives from around the world. The summit resulted to notable outcomes that have inspired government to host another summit this year. Smart Zambia National Coordinator Percy Chinyama has announced that the 2024 summit will take place from the 2nd to 4th October 2024 in the country.
So it was about us holding hands with the rest of the African brothers to move together so that we collaborate on technology. Rather than going to huge investments by ourselves, we said we'll collaborate. Those things that we can work together with our brothers, we will do. And so we had that summit last year, October, and as mentioned, 22 heads of ministries were here. And the discussions began. We don't have time to look at what exactly was discussed and what came out of it, but I wish to assure you that a lot has happened since, not only for ourselves, but also for our brothers in the neighboring countries. And all of them, I'm getting emails. They are looking forward for the 2024 DGA. So today, I'm happy that at last we can announce to the nation that the 2024 DGA, all things being equal, will take place. Is it on the 2nd of October up to the 4th of October, 2024. And this year we want to make sure that whatever we will theme towards the DGA is pragmatic and it's practical to the 3 areas that I mentioned earlier on: economic growth, job creation, and social services for the citizens.
Africa Brains and Visa International Service Association have partnered with government to host the summit.
Really look forward to planning this for the rest of the year. Just so you know, my organisation, we did Innovation Africa here in 2022, as Mr. Tembo referred to, when we had the first Digital Government Summit last year. And it was an inaugural one, and we learned some lessons, and we're going to really take it to another level this year.
Digital ID, digital public services, and digital payment services. Only this ecosystem can fully and beneficially serve citizens and businesses, which is really, really important. We applaud and really appreciate the amazing efforts and results of digitization in Zambia, which obviously are ahead of many countries on the continent.
The success of this summit will open more opportunities for Zambia and Africa as a whole in the digitalization journey. Sharon Walia reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
In Northern Province, management at Moto Moto Museum in Mbala district has called on government to work on the poor state of the road leading to the institution. Moto Moto Museum Director Perais Nkombwe said this when Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Elijah Muchima visited the museum. More in this report.
These are some of the potholes leading to Moto Moto Museum in Mbala district of Northern Province. The museum, which mostly preserves the history of the people of Northern Province, has a dilapidated road network. This has affected business here as tourists, both local and international, turn back due to the bad state of the road. This was reviewed when Lands and Natural Resources Minister Elijah Muchima visited the museum while in Mbala district.
The road to the museum is very dilapidated, and so it's becoming a challenge to receive visitors to the museum. A few times we have received calls that people have turned back because they couldn't make it to the museum. The road is so bad. Otherwise, we are doing everything possible to protect or to preserve the history, and also the collections that we have are well kept, and we wish for many people to come to the museum and enjoy this heritage. But we are very sure that if the road was better, we would have more people coming through to the museum.
Despite being the minister in charge of land, Mr. Muchima has already engaged his counterpart, Minister of Tourism Rodney Sikumba, over the state of affairs.
You can see yourself. I'm told tourism was coming, tourists are coming and ending up by the time I can going back. We have international tourists and what? We need to work on this road very, very quickly. You can't all the way up to the museum. It is quite, all these are serious ditches, these serious, you can't, not even a small car can go and reach there. It's discouraging the people. However, I had a chat with my colleague, the Minister of Tourism, and he says we have to discuss, and also we have to discuss with our colleague, the Minister for Rapula, is now the MP for this area, so that with the council, the town clerk, we need to discuss to see. It is not to be one-sided. This government is a very responsible government and we work collectively. The way this road is terrible, it's horrible. You can't attract tourists on such a road.
Earlier, Mr. Mchima also visited Kalambo Falls, which is one of the tourist attractions in the country. Jane Simalumba Zanis, in Bala District, Northern Province.
Now, the over 5.5 million kwacha World Bank-funded project of erecting 3 bridges at Masangani, Tubale and Soko crossing points in Miombe, an area in Mafinga district, has advanced. The project being implemented under the Transforming Landscapes for Resilient and Development Triad program is being executed by Big 5 Investment Limited. Miriam Kumwenda has more in this report.
Construction works at Masangani and Sonko crossing points of erecting bridges are nearly complete. The 2 projects are among the 3 major bridges funded by the World Bank under the Transforming Landscape for Resilience and Development Triad program in Miombe area of Mafinga district. Big 5 Investments Limited is a company engaged to carry out the works.
This being Sonko Bridge, there is Masangani Bridge and Tuware Bridge. All the bridges have been substantially completed and they've been open to traffic. So what we are doing right now are just a few auxiliary works, as we are just trying to wind up and restore the site. So the initial total cost of all the 3 under triads were at around 5.5 million kwacha. These projects commenced in the second half of 2022. It had a lot of contractual challenges and also just some geographical challenges. But luckily we managed to resolve all those and changes were done, and then we were able now to speed up the works and complete them within this year.
Mafinga area Member of Parliament Robert Charinga visited the site to check on the progress.
Thanks to the World Bank and through collaboration with the government of the Republic of Zambia, that we have been able to be helped. Thanks to Big 5, contractor has done these bridges in good time, especially where we're coming from, Masangani, which was the headache of the people.
Mr. Charinga, who is currently in the constituents to check on various projects and interact with the people, has disclosed more development of road infrastructure.
The government of the Republic of Zambia has given us 110 kilometers of roads connectivity.
Miriam Kumwenda, reporting for Zanis, in Mafinga, Mchinga Province.
Lusaka Province Minister Shil Milyata has called for a mindset change among Zambians if diseases such as cholera are to be eliminated permanently. Ms. Milyata says there is need for people to embrace a sense of cleanliness and maintain high hygiene standards even beyond the cholera epidemic and adhere to preventive measures. The minister was speaking at Chainama Hills Hospital, where the UPND National Women Mobilization Team donated various items to Chainama Mental Health Department to help mitigate the spread of cholera. More in this report.
As the government strives to mitigate the spread of cholera among the citizens, various stakeholders have continued to come on board to supplement its efforts. Lusaka Province Minister Mulyata officiated at an event where the UPND National Women Mobilization Team donated various items to Chainama Hills Mental Hospital to help curb the spread.
Let's go in our communities to continue sensitizing our people, because this is also an issue of the mindset. Let's not stop. Let's go there as ladies, continue, so that thing, they will change, and one day will be a cleaner Zambia.
National Women Mobilization Team Chairperson Lona Chisuta shared her thoughts.
The NWMT is conscious and concerned in as far as reducing or eradicating the disease is concerned, has decided to buy and donate buckets, soap and food to this institution to help prevent the spread of the cholera here. These buckets are to be used by patients, members of staff, and visitors to this institution.
Meanwhile, hospital senior medical superintendent Dr. Margaret Chiwowa also spoke at the event.
Mental health patients aren't exempt from general illnesses like cholera. So this donation is a very welcome donation.
Chainama Hospital, which currently has 180 patients, has so far not recorded any cholera case. Ntazanga Mumba for Zanis, Lusaka.
Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo has advised against sending children to beg and sell on the streets. The Permanent Secretary observed that there is need to avoid children getting affected by the escalating cases of cholera. Mr. Kasongo said this during the launch of the provincial rollout of Children's Code Act in Kitwe.
Chiefs on the Copperbelt Province and the district commissioners, government officers have gathered in Kitwe to launch the rollout awareness on the Children's Act. Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo launched the provincial rollout of the Children's Act and assured the chiefs of government's commitment to address cultural and traditional barriers affecting children's well-being.
I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to the esteemed Royal Highnesses present here today. Your guidance, wisdom, and commitment to the welfare of your communities contribute significantly to the success of government initiatives like the standardization of the content of the Children's Code Act and this accompanying framework. Your presence not only dignifies the importance of this occasion, but also emphasizes the collaborative spirit required to ensure the well-being of our children. As we embark on this provincial rollout, let us remember that the active involvement of our chiefs and these commissioners is vital in promoting awareness and understanding of these frameworks at the grassroots level.
Minister of Community Development, Director for Child Development, called on chiefs to take a center stage in enforcing the fight against negative traditional norms.
Levels. With these structures, therefore, guest of honor, our traditional leadership play a major role in enforcing the newly enacted law, such as the Children's Code Act number 12 of 2022, which is key for both state and non-state actors, those whose mandate is subject to the interpretation and implementation of this law. We are called upon to identify the implications of this law on our portfolio functions as we seek to implement the provisions in a coordinated and more impactful manner.
Kitwe District Commissioner commended the Child Department for involving traditional leaders in the fight for children's rights.
To thank the Department of Child Development through Provincial Coordinating Office for coming up with this sensitization workshop. This effort is symbolic of the importance you attach to the promotion, advancement of the welfare and development of children in the province.
The launch of the Children's Act is meant to raise awareness among stakeholders in ensuring that children are protected from abuse and violence. Tovini Ngombe, Zanis, Kitwe.
We take another break. When we return, government in partnership with UNHCR to electrify Maheba refugee resettlement. Stay tuned.
Kanti kolera kibutuku manyim. Kolera kibutuku bwa kusululam. Mutu yanani butuku bwa kolera utasulula ni kutazam. Mutu yakula butuku bwa kolera usulula meza mfutasi na araisi aya kwa mutabanim. Mukuliyo ukato kwa mezi mamubili bakingisa kufufulelwam. mukuliyo ukona kutimela mwahalalihola zelishumika zepeli haiva asafumanilikalafo zambuwamu. Mutu ukona kuyambula choni butuku wa kolera. Kunwa mezi asikakeniswa kapa kunwa mezi amasilamu. Kuchalicho ni mazo atezi masila kapa kuitusali apiso zetapisizwe ni mezi amasilamu. Kuchalicho zesika kwaelwa ni kuselezwa kwa linzinzimu. Kuchalicho zelobezi ilizeo alisikabukelezwa handemu. Kuchalicho zelekisiwa mama kululumu. Kuchalitolwana manicholo ni mulo zesika tapiswamu. Lukona chwani kuiselezwa kwa butuku wa koleramu. Kuvilisa mezi akunwa kapa kuvea mwateni chlorine. Mfutuma zelichoza mina pili musikali chakalemu. Mukwae lichoza mina kaufela kulisileleza kwa linzinzimu. Musike mwa chalicho za mama kululumu. Mwitu sekali mbalimba nako kaufela. Mi musike mwa itusa bikopo kapa mapepa amuyumba zemasilamu. Mubone kuli mutabani wala telwa mwakali mbalimbamu. Mubone kuli kalimbalimba kamina kakenile nako kaufela manichwalo ni kukwaelwamu. Lingosale litakumina kuzwa kubalikolo la makete.
Welcome back. Government, in partnership with the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, UNHCR, has allocated 16 million kwacha for the electrification of the Maheva refugee resettlement camp in Kalumbila district, Northwestern Province. The joint project, to be undertaken by the Rural Electrification Authority RIA and UNHCR, is expected to benefit 40,000 people in the resettlement and surrounding areas. Minister of Energy Peter Kapala, in a speech read for him by Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Grandson Katambi, says government remains committed to rural electrification as energy is a key driver of economic development. Here's a report.
It is a jubilation which has been long overdue. The people of Maheba resettlement camp have lived without power since 1971 and have turned out in numbers to celebrate the major milestone. Given Mukwakwa is headmaster at Maheba Boarding Secondary School and recounts challenges faced by the institution.
Teachers need the power when they leave school to go and do preparation for their work in the night, but we don't have power.
This situation is about to change following the site handover of the implementation of the Maheba Refugee Camp Rural Electrification Project, which will light up health and education facilities, among others. Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Grandson Katambi has represented Energy Minister Peter Kapala.
I am particularly delighted because this is the first time, like people have said, Maheba refugee camp is being electrified since it was established in 1971.
The United Nations High Commission for Refugees representative has underscored the importance of electrifying the area.
Electrification will also enhance community safety and improve the protection of people living in the settlement.
The community is elated with the development.
Kacheka na umwanto kusakulila kwa malaito mwaneza ngana etu amapwewo ngana tunevuku wachu kuma momo na tupu tukamwana kwasa zimalaiti na tuhaka ifo mu friji my scoop ma friji.
Florence Mr. Zanis in Kalumbila district, Northwestern Province.
The ongoing construction of maternity annexes and mothers' shelters in Nalolo District, Western Province, has cheered the people in the area. The residents have since commended the government for improving maternal health facilities through improved infrastructure. Sifue Mwangala has more in the following report.
Maternal mortality remains a pressing concern in Zambia, but the government is taking steps to address the issue. One of the solutions being implemented is the construction of mothers' shelters and maternity wings across the country. These facilities will be equipped with flushable toilets, proper lighting systems, and upgraded water supply systems. In Nalolo District, new maternity annexes and mother shelters are being constructed to supplement on the existing ones.
We are here at a new facility that is being put up, which is a maternity annex for Moyo Rural Health Center. the facility did not have a proper maternity facility. There were wards that were just left here that were being shared by the females, and the maternity were just next to each other. So there was little or no privacy, and we needed to have a maternity annex that allowed for privacy, had inbuilt water systems, and as well as had electrical as well as medical installations inside.
The availability of these facilities in most health centers has brought relief to the local people.
Mother's shelter. Itiro lutusa hulu kakuli bungata wa mabasi. Nibafumana yanga kuli bapuwela kwa mahaye.
Ikachinule kuna ni tusose liteni ya kwamba na muyao wasipatea moso tuseza na sichaba kamaha hai. Kale batune bazele ile.
Mothers are grateful for having safe delivery places.
Kuitumira kuva mtu wako ne kutsalipatia kuza plastic bazile yawo. Ndio bakupepea kwa sipatela. Kwa kulia uzieleha bakutusa ka obele.
Nalolo District Health Acting Nursing Officer Mulala Simtonga mentions that the construction of mothers' annexes has reduced home deliveries.
Our mothers used to travel longer distances to seek healthy services here. In particular, if you were to mention maternity cases, mothers, a lot of them were delivering from homes due to unavailability of mothers' shelters. But from the directive that came from the president to ensure that all facilities in the country should have a mother's shelter, we have seen a massive reduction, actually almost to zero, with women delivering from home.
Sifwe Mangala, reporting for Zanis in Nalolo District, Western Province.
In Southern Province, Namwala Town Council has procured over 1,300 desks and 1,000 tables and chairs at a cost of 2.7 million kwacha using Constituency Development Fund (CDF). Namwala Town Council Public Relations Officer says the new school furniture will be distributed in various schools ahead of the 2024 academic year. The Ministry of Health in Chavuma District in Northwestern Province says the district is doing fine in the prevention and control of cholera. More in this report.
As the cholera outbreak in Zambia continues to expand rapidly, efforts are being stepped up to halt the spread of the disease and save lives. It is for this reason that the local healthcare providers in Chavuma district have revealed that with the current support from the government, the district is ready to contain the disease.
When we had this outbreak, we've really managed because it was most coming from Maseka village. So we had put some measures, we went to disinfect almost like door to door, and we had some tracing contact, we are following patients everywhere. We did. So in Maseka village so far we don't have a cholera patient. Even the diarrheal diseases, they have really reduced. And even the patient which we are admitting, they are coming from somewhere else. But within Chavuma ourselves, we can say that we are.
District Surveillance Officer Jeremiah Mwanza has thanked government for the recent donation of assorted cholera supplies.
Some commodities for the cholera outbreak. So these items are assorted items which include, among others, chlorine. We also got some gumboots, that is personal protective equipment, PPE. We also got some foodstuffs for the patient through the support of the province. We also received some infection prevention materials like biohazards, goggles, wetsuits. And then among others, we also received some items also from DNMU last week. They gave us chlorine as well as some soap for the patients. Then the council also gave us a bucket of chlorine through their support for cholera, one bucket.
Meanwhile, District Commissioner Geoffrey Kasonda has called on stakeholders to be ambassadors in spreading information concerning cholera preventive measures to stem the spread of the epidemic.
I appeal to all of you as ambassadors to sensitize the community to take all the precaution measures of how we should control ourselves through this epidemic.
Josephine Banda reporting for Zanis, Chavuma District in Northwestern Province.
And finally, the Young Women Christian Association, YWCA, in Katete District has disclosed that the institution aims to reduce the scourge of teen pregnancy by 5% by the end of 2024. YWCA site coordinator for the Gender Adolescent Pregnancy and Social Norms program, Richard Nawa, says efforts are underway to supplement government's efforts in reducing teen pregnancy. More in this report.
The role of men in ensuring a thriving society cannot be overemphasized. Hence, the Young Women Christian Association, YWCA, held a bonfire for men to discuss means of addressing the various facets that influence teenage pregnancy and child marriage and how they can be addressed. Katete District Administrative Officer Paul Ngongolo graced the event.
We have emphasized the fact that there are laws in this country where no minor in this country is allowed to get married. The laws of this country equally are clear in relating to defilements, in relation to early child marriages, and the integration of young girls that have been married. These processes have continued going on, being reintegrated into schools and things like that.
The program aims at reducing teenage pregnancy in Katete District. By the end of 2024, we would want to see that there's a reduction of teenage pregnancy by 5%. So we've called the men here so that we can be able to discuss and find a solution as how best we can reduce teenage pregnancy by 5% within 2024, and making sure that there's positive masculinity and there's gender transformation, gender transformative information that is being shared among the men as well as the boys.
And the men who have been attending various trainings facilitated by the institution testified the difference they have experienced since they began the trainings.
Nziwa kumbuyo uko pamwe nkalibe maphunziro ena yaliyonse nali munthu ndithu pa khomo panga mtendera akazi wanga analibe yayi. Nkhani yochepa tagwirana mthupi tachaya. Nkhani yachepa tagwirana mthupi tachitana zoipa. So ndinoyamikira kwakukulu chifukwa cha maphunziro amene nakhala ndikulandira.
Hope Bwalia, Katete District, Eastern Province.
That item from Katete wraps up Zanis News, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. President Hichilema hosts former vice presidents. Government gives Lusaka City Council 3-day ultimatum to demolish police post. Zambia to host 2024 Digital Government Africa Summit. Namala Council procures desks and other furniture worth 2.7 million kwacha. That's all we had for you on Zanis News. Till next time, this has been Mwangala Kapandula. Thank you for watching.